The Greco-Persian Wars occurred in ancient Greece from 492 to 449 BCE. Persia had a huge army. At the time, the Empire of Persia was thought to contain a quarter to a third of the world's total population. Greece was made up of many city-states, some of whom disagreed on policy, some who were at active war with each other. Athens, for example, was a male-dominated society where a quarter of the citizens were actually slaves.
Today's subject, slavery.
The diet of an average Greek citizen consisted of wine and bread throughout most of the day, vegetables, fruits, and fish possibly at night. So you can't tell me that those Spartans were that jacked.
Yes, I've done steroids.
In fact, meats were treated as a delicacy and only eaten on special occasions. In 491, Persian leader Darius the Great sent messengers to Greek cities demanding that they yield loyalty to the Persian Empire. In Athens, those messengers were thrown into pits, and in Sparta, they were famously thrown into a well.
Let me tell you something! Let me tell you something! Wait.
The Battle of Marathon was the first military engagement in the war, when Persian forces landed at the plains of Marathon in Attica and found no opposition.
Alright, let's see what this is about. Where the is everyone?
While the Athenians sought only to protect their city, the Persians sought to cut off supply lines. Athens acted quickly on hearing the information that the Persians had landed. They destroyed the Persians by a wide margin, and thus triggered the events that led into the Greco-Persian War. When Darius died in 486, his son Xerxes ascended to the throne. Of course, he avoided Athens and Sparta to avoid that whole pesky messengers being thrown in a pit thing. When Xerxes demanded that King Leonidas of Sparta lay down his weapons, he was rumored to have said, "Come and get them."
I mean that I want them, and I don't want to have to ask again.
Go f*** yourself.
The Persian forces easily took northern Greece, and then headed to Thermopylae, also known as the Hot Gates, for the nearby sulfur springs. The Grecian strategy was to use the narrow pass at Thermopylae, where a steep hillside lay on one side and the sea on the other.
Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. Wow.
To combat the Persian forces that were mounting against them. Over the course of 2 days, the Greek forces, led by Leonidas, made a large dent in the Persian forces, losing only a few of their own. That's when the Greeks were betrayed by one of their own, Ephialtes, who showed the Persian forces a path by which they could sneak around and flank the Grecian army.
Tell Sassy. I wanted to know it was me.
With a large portion of the Grecian forces at Thermopylae destroyed, it was decided that the best strategy was a retreat, though many Grecians stayed behind, to include Leonidas and his small contingent, small at least compared to the legendary numbers that the Persian army had. It was said that after death they decapitated Leonidas, a sign of disrespect in Grecian culture.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
In 480, Athens was successfully attacked by Persia.
Dancing, walking, rearranging furniture. Babs is shopping. I let the bird out of the cage.
Also in 480, Persian naval vessels numbered somewhere around 800 pushed to the straits between the island of Salamis? I'm going to say Salamis, otherwise I'm going to get hungry. And the Greek city of Piraeus. Using clever maneuvers in the limited space, the Greek forces were able to destroy 300 Persian ships, losing only about 40 of their own, making the Battle of Salamis another pinnacle point in the Greco-Persian Wars. In 479, Xerxes was defeated at the Battle of Plataea. He retreated from Greece and left the Persian army under the command of Mardonius, who was cousin and brother-in-law to Xerxes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
The Persian encampment of Plataea became a target for Grecian forces when supply lines were cut off and their hands were forced. Under the command of the Spartan Pausanias, Leonidas' nephew, they attempted to move at night, but this left the Grecian forces scattered and disorganized. Somehow, through small increments and engagements, the Grecian forces were able to defeat many Persians, including Mardonius, their leader, at which point the Persian forces began to segment and scatter. Persia never invaded Greece again, and while Spartans were ready to lay down their swords for the time being, Athenians continued warring against the Persian Empire. They also supported Egypt when Persia invaded there. While the Athenians were able to combat the Persian Empire's land grab in Egypt, the Persians later came back and claimed that land anyway.
Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent.
Finally, to end the conflict, Athens and Sparta put aside their own squabbles and launched a successful military operation in Cyprus, effectively ending the Greco-Persian Wars. Thank you for your time. Please go see my content on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube by searching BI1LY3D. Thank you so much. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. That helps me get more engagement, and I also would like to hear what you would like to see me do next. Thank you so much, and have a good day.